Tyler, you ready to let the dogs out?
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. Welcome to Midweek Live. We are glad that you are back. Whether you're watching in a host home or online, we're grateful for you.
Happy July to all of you.
July
1.
1st. I know when I think about July, I think about big parties, barbecues, baseball games,
sunburns,
pool parties,
Torchy's tacos.
Still don't have any of that.
We got Torchy's
today. That's right.
Open today
Over on Ward Parkway. Give Torchy's a try if you haven't had it yet. But anyway, we are still praying that all of this craziness will end soon. But until then, I want Tyler to tell us a little bit about our plans for later in the summer and Camp Fest.
Camp Fest. So here's the deal. Camp, we did not get to go this year. Nobody got to go to camp this year, so it's not just us. But that's a major bummer. And so what we have decided to do is we're going to put on our own camp right here this summer. So August 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we are hosting Camp Fest. It's going to be different than any camp we've ever had. It's going to be different than even Weekend normally is. It's going to be its own unique, one-time special event. And so what I'd love for you to do is go visit our website, connectionpoint.tv/students, and you can register. Here's what's crazy about Camp Fest. Number one, it's super cheap. It'll be $30. Is that right?
That's right.
$30 for the entire weekend. That includes all the stuff going on during the day, all the worship sessions, the teaching, the small groups, the games, lunch. It's going to be incredible, okay? Number two is this. This is not an overnight thing like a normal camp just because of Corona. Thanks, Corona, for ruining our lives completely. But so what we'll do is we'll be here from 10 to 5 every single day, Thursday and Friday, 10 to 3 on Saturday. The third thing I need you to know is this. Friday night is going to be epic. We're having what's called a late night. So we're inviting many churches in the area to come be a part of Camp Fest. We're going to host it. But on Friday night, we're going to go do something special just for our group. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And so I'd love for you to sign up. Tell your friends about it. Again, this is the weekend before school starts. And so, at least for most of you. So this is going to be a great way to launch into the new school year. And I am super excited for it.
Would you say it's going to be lit?
I would say that.
Yeah,
I would, but I'm not cool enough to say that.
We're not worried that this is not going to be an overnight thing because we are going to be exhausted by all of the fun we're going to be having during the day that you're going to want to go home and crash and get up early and come back for the next day. I already have my sunglasses on. I'm ready to rock.
Wow.
So we're going to have a great time. Sign up for Camp Fest now, and as a matter of fact, we are going to raffle off a free registration for Camp Fest. So if you win the raffle tonight, you are registered for free. You don't even have to worry about that $30. And our usual value of our raffles is somewhere between $10 and $20. So this is a big raffle.
Except for the Nintendo Switch last week, that kind of threw off our averages.
Well, I know. Well, that's true. But this will be even cooler than a Nintendo Switch, dare I say. Memories made forever. Mm-hmm. Exclamation point raffle plus your first and last name if you're watching online. If you are in a host home, you have already been entered into the raffle just for showing up, you and whomever you brought. So thank you for that. We are looking forward to finding out the winner.
Yep.
But next, we want to get a feel on your feelings towards getting out of your house. We have been stuck at home for a long time, and we are going to play a game now called Should I Stay or Should I Go? Just how badly do you want to get out of the house?
So bad.
Decide if you'd go in these situations or just stay at home.
Wow.
So we are going to discuss it. We hope you are discussing it amongst yourselves. We just want to find out. How do you feel? Get a grip on our feelings. It's feeling times. I get to go to school today, but it's exam day. Tyler?
Wow.
Stay or go?
Depends on if I've studied or not.
True.
Which I'm going to say I have. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to crush it.
Yeah, this seems pretty obvious to me. If you don't go, you fail the test. Yeah. You have to do school again next year.
You're sad. Or take the test at a later date, and just...
Not in my classroom.
If there's something difficult you got to do, just get it done.
You miss it, it's a 0.
That's right.
Next question.
I get to go to church, but I have to go on stage to do welcome and announcements.
Listen, you and I do this like on a weekly basis in some way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like our opinion matters as much.
Sarah, what would you do?
I'd go.
You
Sarah
would go? You
would
like
go.
to be on stage?
Wrap the announcements.
She would wrap the announcements. Coming
Wow.
next week to Midweek Live, Sarah's going to wrap our announcements.
Yep, exactly.
Yikes.
Exactly.
Sarah, what's your rapper name?
Lil G.
Lil G. Lil G. Lil gas can.
Not
So
great.
we're saying go or stay for that one.
No,
I would say go.
We're going to church. Yeah.
Okay. I get to go to a concert with my best friend, but the band is awful, Nickelback, and plays my least favorite style of music.
You listen to so much Nickelback in high
I've
school.
seen Nickelback
Shut
live,
up.
so
Okay.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. I at this point I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of the house.
My band is awful.
What
the
about
band
you?
is awful, plays my least. Oh, man.
What are you guys doing in your host homes? Take a moment to discuss.
Yeah, and tell us what would be your least favorite style of music.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what I would say.
I don't either.
Hmm.
I'm going.
Yep, I'm going.
I get to go to the beach,
Nope.
but I have to swim in jeans and a hoodie the whole time while I'm there. See, I already do this
You swim in jeans and
because
hoodie?
I hate sunburn.
Yeah.
So, you
I
know,
don't like the beach, man. So I'm staying home.
You're a mountains guy.
I'm a mountains guy. I don't want sand and salt all over me guy. So
I
that's why
understand.
Nope,
I
I'm
understand.
staying home.
You staying? I'm going. That's
Yep.
fine.
See you later.
I get to go see my favorite team play and sit in the front row near the team, but I have to openly root for the other team. Well,
Holy
this is
cow.
stupid.
This.
I'm staying home.
Shoot. Listen, I've been rooting for the away team many times in my life, but this is different because
This would be like going to Arrowhead,
Yeah.
but rooting for the Chiefs. Look at your shirt.
I mean I'd get out alive, but I would feel dirty about it. So
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs good?
Some say they are.
Some say.
Some say they are. Yes.
Yeah. I would. I just love going to sporting events, so I would go.
Okay. That works.
I would go.
I would stay. I'm loyal.
This is our last one.
Sure.
Okay.
I get to go to Disneyland with my family, but
Nope.
I have to hold everyone's stuff while they go on the rides.
Not a chance.
Without me.
Not a chance in the world.
No, this is worth discussion
No, it's not.
because it's fun without the rides. Have you been to Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay. For me, it's fun without the rides
No. How?
because
What?
while they're on the rides, I'll go get an ice cream bar or meet Mickey. I don't care. It's still fun.
Huh.
I'm going.
Okay. Alternative plan. Ice cream bars at home in my underwear, watching Mickey Mouse. Got it all.
I stopped listening when you started talking about your underwear. Real talk.
No,
So,
I'm no. There's no way I'm going to Disneyland. Even if I don't know.
you
it's
just
all
don't
right.
get it.
I've been to Disneyland with no kids and it was pretty fun. But with kids,
Did you know that my personal TikTok feed is mostly Disneyland related TikToks?
have you made any Disney themed TikToks?
Thinking about it.
Okay.
Thinking about it. Not yet.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, coming up soon. Anyway, Sarah's teaching us tonight. She's teaching us about creation as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you are not familiar with the story of creation as told in the Bible, here is a video that will help you learn.
The book of Genesis. It's the first book of the Bible, and its storyline divides into two main parts. There's chapters 1 through 11, which tell the story of God and the whole world. And then there's chapters 12 through 50, which zoom in and tell the story of God and just one man, Abraham, and then his family. And these two parts are connected by a hinge story at the beginning of chapter 12. And this design, it gives us a clue to how to understand the message of the book as a whole and how it introduces the story of the whole Bible. So the book begins with God taking the disorder and the darkness described in the second sentence of the Bible, and God brings out of it order and beauty and goodness. He makes a world where life can flourish. And God makes these creatures called humans, or Adam in Hebrew. He makes them in his image, which has to do with their role and purpose in God's world. So the humans are made to be reflections of God's character out into the world, and they're appointed as God's representatives to rule his world on his behalf, which in context means to harness all of its potential, to care for it, and make it a place where even more life can flourish. God blesses the humans. It's a key word in this book. And he gives them a garden. It's like a place from which they begin starting to build this new world.
I'm not good at drawing, and I'll be the first person to admit that. My stick figures are pretty sad. Sometimes when I try to get crafty and I have this vision or this like idea of what things are going to look like, or when I decorate a room or my office, reality reminds me of why I decided not to be an art major in college, or why I'm not ever asked to teach kindergartners how to draw. I'm just not good at it. I remember when I was in the 2nd grade in art class, we were working with watercolors, and so I decided to paint a sailboat, and I was pretty excited about it. At that point in time, I didn't realize I wasn't good at art, and so I drew the little sailboat. I mean, literally, it was so simple, and I colored it in with the watercolors, and I brought it home when we were allowed to take it home after it dried. And my parents, I love them so much, they were like, Sarah, this is so great. Like, it could be on a Hallmark greeting card. Guys, when your parents say flattering things like that, it's probably because they're trying to encourage you and overcompensating for the fact that your sailboat could have been outdone by kindergartners. It just was not that great. And that is okay. Creativity is just not my thing. So when I say I'm no Michelangelo, that's really not an understatement at all. You see, Michelangelo is an artist. He is very, very good at what he does. He's creative. He executes his plans well. He's the one who did the ceiling on the Sistine Chapel. And let's just say that took him a really, really long time. And it's beautiful. Even the pictures look beautiful. I can only imagine what it's like to see it in person. And someday, it might be cool if I do. But if not, the pictures will suffice. But you see, Michelangelo is no artist compared to God. You see, God was the first artist. We read in Genesis 1 through 2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The world was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. You see, God created everything about the world. He was the first artist. His imagination and his creativity, it leaves you in awe at times. You see, in Genesis chapter 1, we discover that in only 6 days, God created light. He created heaven, the seas, the plants, the sun, the moon, the stars, the creatures of the sea, the creatures of the land, and then he created man. And then he rested. And it's not because God was tired. He set the example of rest for us so that we would rest as well. You see, when we understand creation and God as our creator, we discover 3 things about God and his creation. We're going to watch a video, but when we come back, we'll dive into those 3 things.
How does TikTok only get 30 views? I thought it was a banger. Yeah, he stole my charging cable. Dang, dude! So I guess my girlfriend can't text me back because her Face ID doesn't work with a mask on. What? Just take it down, dude. Of course I want pizza. Yeah, but if it's Domino's, I don't want any part of it. Domino's is trash. If it's Domino's, I send it back. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do online classes today. My hand gets too tired holding up the phone. Did Kyle just say he didn't bring the Takis? Yeah, dude, I'm freaking exhausted. I only got to sleep until noon today. Dude, honestly, I didn't even sleep that good last night. My neck is messed up, dude. 1 pillow is too low and 2 pillows is too high. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, it hurts. Dude, why does Warzone take 3 hours to download? Yeah, I don't get why I can't have hot water in the shower for over an hour. Dude, if we have pizza at youth group again, I ain't coming. Yeah, I bet you would. Yeah, forget you. All right, I love you, Grandma. Yeah, if my phone battery drops below 20%, I will not apologize for what happens next. Why am I in a bad mood? I don't know, maybe it's the cold butter I spread on my toast this morning made it rip. I can't even go in my own room right now because the maid's cleaning. Gosh! She's a sweetheart though. You gotta be kidding me. Yo, Mom! The Wi-Fi's down again! No, I'm not raising my voice, you're just far away. No, I'm sorry. Stupid. No, I didn't mean it. No, I thought there was a spider. Yes, I promise. Dude, only 300 likes? Ah, dang. Dude, Kyle, what even is COVID and why does it suck so much? Dang, dude.
I just got a splinter from an avocado stone.
Yo, if the Wi-Fi lags one more time, I'm gonna take a cheese grater to someone's ankle.
Yo, this paper cut on my thumb is killing my Fortnite game.
What? Yo, Luke called me a simp?
Dude, that's not true. I respect women.
No, dude, I hate driving with him. He doesn't have Spotify Premium. And if I hear an ad one more time, dude, I'm gonna lose it, dude. Yo, I just peeled a pomegranate. I totally think I just pulled my shoulder. Kyle, shut up, dude. Yes, you can pull a shoulder from peeling a pomegranate. I just did it. Nah, dude. I just lost a 700-day streak with Kyle. So no, I don't want to go to Granny's birthday party.
Want a break from the ads?
Dude.
So before we left, I said that we would discover 3 things about God and God as our creator in understanding creation. The first thing that we understand is that God is the powerful creator. You see, God is powerful, and that's shown in many different ways, in many different circumstances. But the very first way that God displays his power is actually through creation and the way that he created things. You see, he didn't use clay figures and then set them in the world and then suddenly they became alive. He didn't draw something with a crayon or colored pencils. He didn't use watercolors. He used words. God created the heaven, the earth, the world just through words. He created the world in a way that nobody else has the ability to do. As we read in Genesis, we find the phrase, "Then God said," is mentioned 8 times, and it's linked to the different things that he creates. And then he calls what he created good. You see, we do have things such as music that is considered an art, or spoken word, or poetry. But that's a different kind of art. There's no other human, there's no other way that anything can be created through words. I can't just say, "Let there be baseball," and then suddenly a baseball field appears in front of me and people are playing baseball. You can't just say, "Let there be coffee," and a coffee cup appears. You see, that alone sets God apart as the most powerful creator. It displays his power, but it also helps us understand that ultimately, he's our creator. Psalm 33, 6-9 says, "By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and the breath of his mouth all their host. He gathers the waters of the sea as a heap. He puts the deep in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spoke, and it came to be. He commanded, and it stood firm." What this passage is saying echoes what we read in Genesis 1. God spoke, and the world came to be. That alone should leave us in awe of him and his creation. We read in Colossians 1, 15-18. He, meaning Jesus, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. This passage has a lot to it, so let's break it down just a little bit. What this passage is saying is that ultimately, God is the creator, and everything that was created was by him and for him. Now, the he, when it says he is the image of the invisible God, that's referring to Jesus. So in Colossians, this passage says that Jesus created all things, and yet Genesis says that God created all things. So how can this be? There are two reasons. First, Jesus and God are one and the same because of the Trinity, the three in one. Second, it's because Jesus is God's spoken word. During Jesus' time on earth, you've probably heard this, he was God in a bod, and he lived a life of obedience to God. The Trinity can be a tricky concept, but it sure is amazing. So we can be confident that God created the world, that God is a powerful creator. The second thing we learn through creation is this: God created things for a purpose. There's nothing that God has created that was ever a mistake. Nothing he created was careless or by accident or just randomly happened. You see, God is a God of order, a God of purpose. So everything that he does, it matters, down to when he created the plants. He created them for many reasons, and they do many things, which I'm sure you'll love to learn about in biology. It is kind of fascinating, to be honest, but I also am a nerd and I like to learn those things. However, food was one of those reasons that God created plants, and we're going to discover that in just a second. Looking at Genesis 1:27 through 30, it reads, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth.' And God said, 'Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given them green plant for food.' And it was so." You see, God knew exactly what he was doing when he created the world. Everything has reason and purpose, especially mankind. You see, what I love the most about this passage is that it points to this. We were made in the likeness of Christ. We were created in his image, and each of us has a purpose. You see, out of all of creation, we're the only creation, human beings, the only creation that were made in the likeness of God. So that means that you and I, the person you're sitting next to, your friends, your family member, people that you encounter out in public, we all have value. We have the same amount of value because we were created in his image. And we live in a crazy world, but there's nothing that anyone can do or say that would ever take away from or add to your value. You have value simply because you were made in the image of God. That means that nobody's here by accident or by chance. That our lives, they have a meaning and a purpose. You see, God always has a purpose for our lives, just like he had a purpose when he created plants and animals. I've not quite figured out the purpose that he had in mind when he was creating frogs, but I don't doubt that they have a purpose. I just haven't figured it out, and mostly sometimes I think that they were just created to scare people, like me. However, they have a purpose. But what this passage really reiterates, what it drives home, is that we were made in his likeness, and that sets us apart from all of creation. But I think that the passage in Colossians that we read earlier sums it up well when it says, "All things were created through him and for him." See, this emphasizes God as creator, and his purpose for creation is that things are for him. We were made to have a relationship first with God and then with other people. We were made to take care of the earth. God always has a plan. And And creation reminds us that God is the creator and that he creates things with a purpose. And ultimately, creation was created for him. And that brings us to our bottom line. All things were created by him and are for him. The last point is this: we can trust God as our creator. Because God is our creator and he creates all things with a purpose and a plan, we can trust him in all things. We can trust him with our life. I know that things are crazy right now, but let's be honest. Since day one, since sin entered the world, things have been crazy. Terrible things happen. Bad things happen to people who seem so good and so kind. We have cancer, diseases. We have pandemics. We have injustice. And bad things happen. But we can trust God in the bad things, just like we can trust him with the good things. Because even the bad things in our life have a purpose. And I know that sounds crazy, but I need you to trust me on this one. Everyone has bad things that happen in their life, and in the midst of the storm, we often can't see the purpose behind it because we're buried deep in the pain, in the heartache, in the confusion. But once the storm passes, we're able to see that nothing happens by chance, that God is still in control of all things, and that we can trust him. And I feel like that's a message we really need to work on, given today's circumstances. Not only can we trust him as our creator, but we can also trust him because not only did he create the entire world just through speaking, God always has been, and he always will be. You see, when we read in Genesis, it never mentions how God was created. That's because he always has been. He was before time, after time. And how can we not trust someone and find comfort in the fact that he's always been there and he always will be there for us? Psalm 92 states, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." What a comforting verse to know that before anything ever happened, before the world was created, before sin, before disease, before heartache, before joy, before great things, before blessings, God already was. If he has a plan for creation and a plan for your life, we can trust him in the hard times as well as the good times. Now, I know that David wrote a lot of the Psalms, but Psalm 90 was actually written by Moses, and this hero of faith acknowledges that God has always existed, from everlasting to everlasting. He wasn't created, but he created everything. And this might be a hard concept to grasp, but if anything, it should leave us in awe of God, knowing that he's always been there, that he'll never leave us or forsake us. That can help us trust him even more. How cool is it to be created by God and to know that he has a purpose and a plan for each and every person, for each and everything that's created. All of creation, whether it's the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, humankind, it all points to God because all things were created by him and for him. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this night that we have together. Father, I just thank you for creation. I thank you for the way that you created the world in a way that no one else can ever do. Father, I thank you that creation shows how powerful you are and speaks to who you are as a creator. Father, I thank you that creation reveals that everything has purpose and meaning in life. Father, I thank you that through creation we can see how we can trust you in the good and the bad. Father, I just ask that as we move forward, that as we continue to wake up in each day, whether we see the sunrise or the sunset, whether we admire a plant or whatever it is, Father, I ask that we would look for you more in creation, that we would appreciate all that you have created, that we would be in awe of you and how you created everything just through speaking. Father, I thank you that each and every one of us has a purpose. I thank you that nothing happens by chance, that you're sovereign over it all, that even in the midst of everything going on, Father, we can trust you because you are good and because you are creator and because your plan is so much better than our ways. Father, we love you and we ask that you would bless the rest of the time that we have together. Amen.
You know what I like about these sunglasses? It still recognizes my face.
Wow.
If I'm wearing like polarized sunglasses, it doesn't know it's me. Oh, hey, what's up? Sorry, didn't know you were there. Wow, great teaching, Sarah. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed learning about the finer points of creation and what it means for us today.
Little gas can.
Yep, little G. Stay tuned next week. She's going to wrap the announcements, so can't wait.
So excited.
So the raffle. We need to figure out who won this raffle.
Sure do.
Remember, if you won the raffle, you get a free Camp Fest registration. So
I have a prediction.
Okay, what's up?
For many, many weeks now, I've had the high schoolers from Raytown in my home, and they have not won this raffle since we've started in-home small groups.
Oh, snap.
And I'm predicting that they will not win again tonight. So sorry, guys.
I happen to know that Taylor is extremely sensitive about this subject because
he's sensitive about a lot of subjects.
He thinks that I hate him. And so he thinks that I intentionally don't choose him.
Are you the one that chooses?
Well, joke's on you, Taylor. I don't choose. We spin a wheel. So, sorry.
But
yeah, I agree. There's really no reason why the Raytown High Schoolers should win anything. Molly Pratt won that trophy.
Molly wins a lot of stuff.
She loved it so much that she left it at your house and just talked about how uninspiring it was. So
we're just buying time so we can get our names in.
That's
ready
right.
to spin it?
Yep. Let's go.
Spin.
It's you.
Congratulations.
Wow. Another bummer for the Raytown High Schoolers.
Another loss. One of these days.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Stick around for more discussion questions. We need to end this because when it's the two of us, you just never know.
Sign up for Camp Fest.
Yep.
Okay, invite somebody, sign up. It's going to be a blast.
Hey, if you were that raffle winner, here's an idea. Offer to pay for a friend to go.
Oh, wow. Or split it.
That maybe they have never heard the gospel. Maybe they've never had a great Camp Fest at a church. We would love to see one of your friends and get to meet them. So think about that if you were the winner tonight.
Yeah.
We will see you next week. YouTubers, hop on Zoom.
See ya.